Hey guys, continuing the journey to John Wick Chapter 4, here are my thoughts on John Wick Chapter 2. Before I begin, I believe this is probably the fan favorite John Wick movie. Usually when I see different John Wick rankings, John Wick reviews, this seems to be the fan favorite. And now for a while, this was my least favorite because I didn't really care for it as much at first. I still liked it, but I felt that it was the weakest out of the bunch. And for a while, third was my favorite. But now I think I'm hopping on the train where this, in fact, is now my favorite John Wick movie. Starting off with my positives on John Wick Chapter 2 is the opening of this movie. The opening of this movie is pretty much like maybe a couple hours, maybe a day after the first movie where John Wick is going to get his car from the two guys in the first movie where the brother of the other guy and the uncle of his nephew, he has John Wick's car, and then John Wick goes to get it, and then he just takes out everybody, and then the entire scene is where he gets his car back, and then it turns into this whole haze where a bunch of cab cars are coming in and crashing into him, trying to stop him, trying to kill him. It's one of those openings where it just throws you immediately into action. You can tell that this movie got a bigger budget and more money and all that, and you can tell they used it all on stunts. Speaking of stunts, I think the stunts in this movie are really good. I think they're at their best in this movie, where, since, like I said, bigger budget, and I think that Keanu Reeves in this movie did a damn good job during the action for the stunts. I think he did a pretty good job. It's very few times where you'll see Keanu Reeves actually being mentioned. I honestly believe that he's up there with top, like, 10 best um action stars. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and I think Keanu Reeves should be up there. He's very underrated now. He's best known for Neo from The Matrix, but I think this is, like I said in my review, this is slowly becoming his most popular character, and he puts a lot of commitment to it, where he does stunts, does a lot of action. Hell, I'm pretty sure watching behind the scenes, he said that he almost broke his arm doing one of the stunts, which, like like Sylvester Stallone, that's a lot of commitment. Like how in this movie we get to see more about John's past, where how he knows all these people, where at the hotel you get to see where they get all this stuff, where it's like a hotel for assassins. You get to see where they get their clothes, you see where they get their ammo, pretty much everything that they need for to go and do their job. It's at this hotel, and I'm glad to see that we get to see more of that, where we see more how John got into this role, where he just slowly became an assassin, and where it shows us how he did all of it, where he got all these guns, where he got all the protection that he needed for it. It's just a lot of it's I shouldn't say fun, but it's really interesting to see how John became the person that he was, and showing how all these things that he got was from this hotel, and it was pretty much the hotel that kind of slowly got him into this phase. Speaking of commitment and all that, I think the action in this movie is better than in the first movie. It's more action packed. Like I said, the opening is where John is getting his car back, and he completely destroys it. For someone who loves old cars and all that, and who actually owns one, that kind of pissed me off. But and then you get where this one guy, he comes back, and where you find out that the villain in this movie is the reason who helped John get this impossible task that was mentioned in the first movie, so he could leave and go into retirement. But then he blows up his house, and then he wants him to kill his sister. He goes and kills his sister, but then there's like a whole phase where all the bodyguards are trying to kill him. Then after that, the guy sets up a bounty for John, and then he kills all these people like they're nothing, and it's just like nonstop action. And then he goes up to the guy and then tries to kill him, and then it's just a bunch of action there. It's a lot of hell. There's even a tiny bit of action at the ending scene where John is just running away from people because they're slowly getting the message that there's a bounty on John Wick, and that they're offering them a lot of money for it. This movie is action packed, and I think John Wick 3 has the most action out of the three that are out right now. What I've heard, John Wick Chapter 4 has the most action of the series. But I think the action in this movie is way better than the first movie. But the first movie still had good action, but the action in this one is just way better. More. More, bigger, better. Right? No? Okay. The first movie you hear from the guy that John Wick killed three people in a bar by using a single pencil, and that is kind of how he's known for and how dangerous you get from this guy. It's just like, oh, you don't want to mess with him. He killed three people in a bar. The pencil. And this one, you actually kind of get to see that. He doesn't kill three people, he only kills two people, I believe. Was it? Yeah, two people. He killed three people in that scene, but it wasn't with the pencil. Where they're like all these people are trying to kill him because the one guy set a bounty up for him at for $7 million, not $77 million. And when they're fighting, he takes a pencil, stabs this guy in the eye, and then he shoots this one guy, and then just like stabs him again, and then kills this one guy by stabbing him in the ear with the pencil. Yeah, like I said in my first review, this is a guy I would not want to mess with. Person that has worked with Keanu Reeves before, and that is Lawrence Fishburne. A lot of people might recognize him from the Matrix series, and this is the first time we see Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne work together since the horrible film that was Matrix Revolutions, whatever the fuck you call it. But I liked seeing Lawrence Fishburne in this movie, where he plays like this homeless person that kind of makes bunch of money by having homeless people, like people fake that they're homeless and kind of sending pigeons off to people. Kind, I don't know what sends off. I don't know what's with the pigeons though. They don't really explain that. But I like seeing Lawrence Fishburne in this movie. I think he's a talented actor, and mostly it's because I get to see Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne back together after 14 years, right? When did Revelations come out? Now onto my mixed aspects. I don't think this movie has a compelling story. Now it kind of starts off strong where this guy hires him to kill his sister. He gets that done pretty quickly, just like that. Kind of feels weird. But and after that, there's a bunch of people. This one guy tries to kill him, and then they push that aside. But then John goes to kill him. Like the only story here is just the guy hiring John just to go kill his sister. That's really the only story stuff that we get in this movie. It's that's all the story we get. But the reason it's in my mixed aspects because you kind of get slow types of hints to the story where I kind of do like the premise where he tries to just go and kill this guy because he kind of fucked him over though. But other than that, there's no good story. It's not like an interesting story like it was in the first movie. But it doesn't bother me too much, but I do wish they did something more with it, like tell us why John is doing it. Like the only reason that we kind of get is like, oh, you kind of fucked me over, so I'm gonna come and kill you. That's kind of all we get. Come on, more story. I'm not here for big explosions and guns. Okay, I kind of am, but I do want a good story. Now on my negatives. I don't care for this villain. He's just dumb. What does he want? He's just boring and like he's just not very interesting like he is like the other two guys in the first John Wick. I really wish he was utilized better. I wish we got more backstory with him and John because in this movie he explains that John did a blood oath with him because he helped him take down this impossible task, but that's all we get. More, please? Like the story? Well, guys, I think this is a pretty good sequel. One of the best action sequels in a long time. One of the best action franchises in a long time. But I do have my flaws with this movie. But I might prefer this movie over the first John Wick. But at this point, they're kind of neck and neck. But right now, I'm going to say that this is my favorite for right now, and I would say go out and buy it. What do you guys think of John Wick Chapter 2? Are you like a lot of other people and think that this is and you think that this is your favorite? Or is this your least favorite? Or are you like me and you think that both John Wick movies right now are kind of like neck and neck? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. If you like this video, like it. If you loved it, subscribe and hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But until my next video, God, I can't speak today. Good day. Goodbye. Sorry.